Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Lacy Bay Designs. On this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to make these beautiful bell sleeve tops. So let's get started. The materials I'll be needing for my bell sleeve top are ruler, zip, pins, scissors, lining pieces, tape measure, and then my fabric, and then chalk as well. Great, so the measurements I'll be using for my top are bust 36 inches. So I'll be using bust 36 inches throughout to the waist. So 36 divided by 4 will give me 9 inches plus 2 inches allowance, making 11. And then the top length is 20 inches. Okay, so I marked out 20 inches at both sides. So the length and then the width of the neck is 4 by 4 inches. The length is 4 inches and then the width is also 4 inches. I then drew my curve connecting to the other point. I extended the shoulder line 4.5 and then the armhole line 9 inches. Okay, so I then marked out and then drew my armhole curve. I also sloped the shoulder line about half an inch downwards to the armhole line. I then connected the hem of the top with my ruler. Okay, so this is what I have. I'll cut it out and then cut my back, as you can see. Okay, so I'll be cutting same on my lining pieces. This is also actually for beginners. Great. So at this point, I'll be cutting out the back as well, leaving about 1 inch or 1.5 inch allowance at the back. But for the neckline, I'll be dividing the front neckline into 2 and then connect it to the shoulder point, like what I have done. I'll then cut it off. Cut the shoulder sloped and then cut the hem of the top as well. After cutting out, I'll be cutting out the sleeves, but I'll cut the same thing on my lining pieces for both front and then the back. I'll then divide the back zip line into 2. Okay. So I'm about to cut the sleeves. So the armhole line or the armhole curve is 9 inches. Then I added 1 inch to it, making 10 inches. So that's 1 inch allowance here, making 10 inches. Now the sleeve length is 24 inches. So I marked 24 inches and then marked 24 inches on the other side. Then I connected the points together. Afterwards, I connected to the underarm of the sleeves. But the hem of the sleeves was opened about 13 inches to 14 inches. Great. So I'm about to cut the other sleeves as well. The remaining fabric wasn't enough, so I had to do cut and join at the hem of the sleeves. So this is what I have after doing cut and join at the hem of the sleeves. I will then raise the side of the sleeves up about 1 inch and then shape it like what I am doing. Okay, now so this is the top after cutting out the lining pieces. The next thing to do is to open the top into two like this and then placing my lining pieces onto it. I'll then go ahead and sew down the neckline and then open the back pieces into two and also place my lining pieces onto the right side of the back pieces. I'll also go ahead and then sew the neckline and then the zip line. Same thing for the other pieces as well. The neckline and then the zip line as well. Okay, so this is what I have after sewing down the neckline and then the zip line. The next thing to do is to go ahead and then indicate my zip allowance and then shape the top according to my client's measurements. So as you can see, I'm indicating the zip line. Okay. I'll then open it up, making sure the right side faces me. And then place the right side of the front onto it. Afterwards, I'll go ahead and then shape it according to my client's measurement. But at this point, I'll be finishing the hem of the top. The next thing to do is to go ahead and then turn it out to the wrong side. Sew down about 1/2 inch and then bring it to the right side. But before that, I'll trim off 1 inch from the lining pieces. I'll do the same thing for the back pieces as well. I'll trim off 1 inch from the lining pieces and then sew. After doing that, okay, so this is the sleeves. I'll then open up the sleeves. Same thing I did for the back pieces. Okay, so I'll place it onto the right side. Go ahead and then sew 1/2 inch at the hem area before turning to the right side. Okay, so this is the top after finishing the hem area. So as you can see, the main fabric exceeds the lining pieces about 1/2 inch. The next thing to do is to go ahead and then finish the shoulder line and then sew the side and side of the top. Okay. The next thing to do is to also sew down the sleeves. So after sewing the sleeves, I then shift it up about 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch and then trim it off from the top part of the sleeves, like what I am doing. Afterwards, I'll realize the main fabric exceeds the lining fabric about 1/2 inch. The next thing to do is to go ahead and then measure my armhole curve, that is 9 inches. Okay, so I located my 9 inches. Then at the hem of the sleeves, I located back about 1 inch allowance. Okay, so this is it. I'll be doing the same thing on the other side of the sleeves as well, and then go ahead and sew down. So for the top, this is what I have after sewing the side and side and then finishing the shoulder line. I'll then turn to the right side and then go ahead and fix in my sleeves. So this is the sleeves. I'll then place it into the armhole of the top, making sure the shoulder point to shoulder point matches, and then the underarm point to underarm point for both sleeves and top also matches. So I'll be pinning down like what I'm doing. I'll then go ahead and sew all round. I'll be repeating the same thing on the other side of the sleeves. Okay, so this is what I have after sewing in the sleeves. Great, very beautiful. The next thing to do is to go ahead and then fix in the zip. So as you can see, the zip is quite long, so we'll be trimming off some inches after fixing the zip. So this is what I have after fixing in the zip. So it's neatly fixed. Please, the fitting skirt has already been made. I have already made a tutorial on how to sew a fitting skirt. I'll be placing the link in my description box. Okay, so this is the final look after everything. Thank you all for watching my videos. Please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, kindly do so. See you all.